Hey guys, the name is Kris Barocsi. Welcome to Gear Corner. Today I will show you Paul McCartney's favorite delay pedal. Yep, it's that Paul McCartney. In the name of transparency, this is a paid review. If you know me and this channel, you know that I only show gear that I find awesome and inspiring. I accept a payment for the time I invest in a video, but my opinion is and will stay my own opinion. In case you enjoy what I'm doing here, give this video a like and hit subscribe. I'd appreciate that a lot. Also, check out the description box for additional infos, gear links, and timestamps. Let's check out the pedal. It's simple. It looks and sounds absolutely beautiful, and it's as high-end as a pedal can be. It's the Time Trap from Kasleder FX. I'll explain how this delay became the ex-Beatle Paul McCartney's favorite delay pedal, but before I do that, let's check out some details about the Time Trap. The layout is really simple. One on and off switch, in, out, power. You can run it on batteries of course as well, and you have three knobs: echo, feedback, and blend. Echo is simple, it's the delay time. It goes from around 30 milliseconds to 300 milliseconds. The feedback knob does what you expect. You can adjust the amount of repeats, and it obviously self-oscillates or feeds back if you max it out, which is something I want to show you. And then the blend knob is really interesting. It's basically the mix knob, but it's not like a traditional mix knob because your dry signal stays 100% all the time. Doesn't matter where the blend knob is. You can max it out and you still have 100% dry sound on top of all the delays, which is super useful because you never get lost in a mix. The only downside of that is that because your dry guitar sound is always a bit louder than the delays, you cannot do the edge thing and you cannot sort of disappear in a huge delay jungle. It's not that kind of pedal. It's way more subtle than that. But this blend feature helps you a lot in being heard in a band. If you ever played together with other musicians, you know how easily you disappear in a mix as soon as you turn on, let's say, a reverb or a delay with a higher effect setting. There is a chance you never heard of Kasleder FX. It's a really, really small brand who hand builds pedals, designs and hand builds pedals in Hungary, Budapest. And that's where the connection came from. I'm from Budapest, and Albert just contacted me. And I love what he's doing. He's been doing this for, 15 years at least, something like the mid-2000s. I think he started with this whole thing. And he's pretty well known in the country. Basically, he is the boutique pedal maker in Hungary. I'm really sure, though, that you've heard of the brand called Hofner. Well, this is where the connection comes with Paul McCartney. Hofner built a couple of custom pedals for guitars and for basses for a number of years, a couple of years ago actually. And all of those pedals were designed and built by Albert Kasleder, who's, by the way, pronounced like Kasleder. Paul McCartney is obviously a long-time Hofner player, plays the bass and has a great relation to the company itself. And when Hofner came out with the Time and Again pedal, which is basically the Time Trap, they sent him one. It was just a limited run, a couple of pedals we made, and Paul fell in love with it immediately, put it on his board, and it's been there ever since. That's his, I don't want to quote him because I can't remember the exact words, but it's like, this is my favorite analog vintage style delay ever, blah, blah, blah. Which is really impressive, to be honest, because it's Paul. Paul's pedal is called the Hofner Time and Again. This pedal is called the Kasleder Time Trap. What are the differences? Well, obviously the name, the brand, the design. Both were designed by Albert Kasleder's girlfriend or wife, not sure, but they work together and she's an artist. So both were designed by the same person. Internally, they're very similar, but there are enough differences there to avoid stress between Hofner and Kasleder. So they both respect each other. They just stopped working together. I don't normally do unboxing. It's just not my thing, to be honest. This time though, I really want to show you what's inside the package. I was laughing so hard. So I opened it up and this is what I saw. That's gonna be the pedal, obviously. What? That's a toilet paper. There's even a sticker on it. This is something they started doing when the pandemic started last year. And all of a sudden, you couldn't find toilet paper in the stores because some people went berserk and bought all of them. So they started, this is a silly joke, and they just stick to it. So it's sort of a thing now for Kasleder. So expect getting a roll of toilet paper if you buy one of these pedals. Okay, an obvious question would be, why would I want to pay more for an analog delay than whatever carbon copy, MX carbon copy costs, or the Ibanez analog delay, whichever, those very good sounding mid-priced pedals. First of all, with the Time Trap, you get all the top-notch components inside. I'll show you some close-ups, some beauty shots. All the parts are as good as they can be, and even those will then be hand-selected and measured. This is something like Analog Mike does, the owner of Analog Man, grabs all the great components they want to use anyhow, and then they measure them. And if it measures too high or too low, they will not use it for a certain type of pedal. Such a hand-wired pedal like the Time Trap has one more huge plus compared to all the mass-produced pedals. They are repairable. Because all these parts are hand soldered inside, if something breaks, you can just swap that part. It's easy to do. And of course, let's not forget about the tonal aspect of things. Why you would want to pay more than like a medium-priced analog delay? Well, because these are proper analog delays, and they work with this concept of this bucket brigade concept. There's a tonal degradation going on. With every repeat, your tone will become narrower and more vintagey and whatever. Sometimes even distorted, because if these components are not top-notch, well, there will gonna be some peaking, some nasty frequencies going on, and especially if you increase the delay time, where this tonal degradation becomes way more obvious, you will immediately hear the difference between all these pedals. So if you like sort of extreme settings, high feedback and high delay time settings on analog delays, I highly recommend checking out better quality ones, because you will notice a significant difference. That being said, if you're after a super short slapback sound, these differences will not be that huge. So it really depends on your expectations and the way you want to use analog delay pedals. And now my personal opinion on Time Trap, now that you probably made up your mind anyhow already. If you want to have a delay that can just stay on because it functions as a reverb, basically, even though it sounds different, but it has the same kind of function. It has to be really subtle, really fine, and just lush and all that stuff. And that's what the Time Trap is. It's a lush, warm sounding delay. You don't have to worry about tap tempos and everything. You just set it for a delay time that sort of always works. For me, that's around like 100 and something till 300 milliseconds, depending on my mood and the style I'm playing in. And just set it and forget it. Cons, is there any? Because I talked about the pros enough. I adore its lush delay sound. All I wished is maybe a tiny bit brighter repeats. And I'm not even sure if that's a good thing, but that's something I would sometimes prefer, because the way it is now, you can leave it on all the time. It's the perfect always on pedal. As soon as the repeats are more hearable and more sort of pristine, you get closer to a deluxe Memory Man kind of analog delay sound, which is something I also love, but that's not an always on pedal. So at the end of the day, the Time Trap's lush and warm tone just makes it even more usable. But what do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comment section. Meet you down there below. You guys take it easy. Have a fantastic week, and I'll be back next week. Bye-bye.